Trump did a lot of things yesterday, okay? I told myself I was actually up in Ely. It's like negative 25 when I got up, and even colder with the wind chill, visiting some friends. And I had just said, I don't really care about speeches and all that kind of stuff. But then I ended up on the drive home. I had to watch it, I had to see it. And Trump did a good job just laying out, without saying Biden and Kamala, basically just completely demolishing the last 4 years, which is good because those.
Well, I'm glad that Biden is kind of senile because he just stood there kind of smiling. He sat there smiling and clapping a little bit while Trump just trashed him. But, part of it, too, wasn't really a trashing. I mean, when he's correct in his statements, when he's saying there's an emergency at the southern border, that is a true statement to make. And while it might be kind of degrading to the person sitting next to you, it's a true statement and it had to be made. So right. I'm proud of what he did yesterday. Happy to go over his executive orders.
Speech was good. And to me, speeches are speeches. So what? Show me action. So then Trump literally leaves. And by the way, he's in the rotunda, which I still don't understand what happened. But maybe what happened was it was cold and Trump did worry about his supporters and also worried that people wouldn't come and it would look bad. So he moved in the rotunda. Turned out to be actually really nice that they moved to the rotunda. Yeah. It was very smooth. And other than the Carrie Underwood mishap, it was, I think, an awesome show. So, so then he goes and he leaves and he goes down to a different part of the Capitol. I'm not an expert on the U.S. Capitol building, okay? I wasn't a January 6er. So he goes to another portion, and apparently he gives a speech just about as long down there to a bunch of his supporters.
Right.
And I only caught that at the end. Then he does the presidential parade, which is considered when he actually goes to is it the Capital One Arena or something like that? Whatever the big arena is in D.C. in front of his biggest supporters, and he goes there and does another big long speech. So then it's like, wow, that's quite a day. You're just going to go to the balls and, celebrate. And no, he goes to the Oval Office and sits behind the desk and literally has the White House press there firing questions as he is signing monumental executive orders. So on day one, if there was something that it's got to be said about action on Donald Trump's part, he signs, and I don't even know how many executive orders. We were just talking about before the show started. There's 5 pages of them on the White House site, but I don't believe they're all up there right now.
Yeah,
okay?
Sure. Yeah.
So I want to cover a couple, but just to give you a taste of what it was like if you hadn't seen this, we have
Jesse is on right now. Yep.
We got Jesse from Washington D.C.
Let's do it.
Well, let's hold off on the executive orders. Let's hear from one of the largest Trump supporters out there, MAGA Jesse. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I don't know if you can see it behind me. I got the Capitol building right behind me there.
Yes.
Dale and I just wrapped up a tour of Congress from an Idaho congressman, so we had a great time being able to go underground, see everything that's going on in the belly of the beast here in Washington, D.C., learning a lot of good stuff, seeing some good stuff as well. And we are in the golden age of America right now. That's why I got my gold MAGA hat on. And it is incredible to be in Washington, D.C. for President Trump's inauguration. I'm excited to be a part of it here.
All right. And you got Dale with you? What's Dale wearing?
He's still in the Longworth office building. He's still chatting it up. He was in another Congress member's office. So
is he wearing the rhino jacket?
Not in the rhino jacket, no. I think he's wearing a Constitution tie, so that's a good reminder for these crooks out here in D.C.
There you go. Okay, so MAGA Jesse, I got to ask, where were you yesterday? I mean, you were initially supposed to be in attendance out on the Capitol lawn, but obviously that didn't take place, or did it take place, and we're just not aware of it. Where were you yesterday?
Yeah, so I went to a watch party that was hosted by the MNGOP and 4 other state GOP parties. So there was Tennessee, South Carolina, I think North Dakota, and 1 other. So there was making some good connections out here as well with some other states and lots of other patriots. I mean, it's incredible what's going on. I tried to get into the Trump rally, and that was absolutely nuts. The streets were packed, and so wasn't able to get into that one. Didn't even attempt to get into the
There,
inauguration.
there were empty seats at that rally, so I don't know why that ended up happening.
That's not true. I doubt it.
No,
Because,
I mean I could see it. I could see it from the view they were showing, and there's a lot of space on the floor. So you're saying there was long lines, large crowds outside of it, so they were restricting people's access, or what happened?
There were tens of thousands of people still outside.
Oh,
Absolutely,
unbelievable.
we were outside, and people were watching on a jumbotron outside the arena. So, there was tens of thousands of people still outside, if not more.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was a security thing then, not allowing them in, because I mean, you could definitely see there was space. I'm not trying to be a hater here, Jesse. I clearly he could have filled an arena, especially on inauguration day. But it was interesting to me. I'm like,
we need a bigger arena.
Oh, clearly.
I think we need a bigger arena here, and I understand why it went down like it is. I think that it's purely for safety concerns, and it's more important to me that Trump takes office than us witnessing a speech. So whatever keeps him safe, and he's got to make our country great again. He's got to stay alive to do so.
Are you saying safety? Oh, safety. Oh, okay. So I was gonna say safety concerns because of cold weather injuries. Or are you saying because there's a unique threat to Donald Trump?
Yeah, at least as a Minnesotan, it doesn't seem too cold out here for me. But I think that it's much more. There's concerns that I've seen Dan Bongino saying with Secret Service and safety concerns around the inauguration. So I think that this was the best move to keep Trump safe.
Well, there's
Jesse?
something that's interesting that I've seen is the motorcade that picked up Trump. I think Sunday, they had these look like jamming devices on the top. I'd never seen these things on a motorcade, and to me, it's like, well, are these like drone jamming devices?
Sure.
And if that's the case, is it because there's some unique threat to Donald Trump? I mean, the guy's only been basically survived 2 assassination attempts, which, by the way, you mentioned one of them at the inauguration, which was interesting.
Yeah. Jesse, looking good, sir. I love your tie.
I
Jake's
like your
point.
tattoo, Gunner.
Thank you,
We're in the same American spirit here.
It's a great day. It truly is a great day for America. And
Absolutely.
it's not just the patriotic spirit. It's that sense of pride that I feel has been renewed and is in the limelight. And to that point, Jesse, any counter protests, any sad Democrats walking around? Are the streets filled with Democrat tears? What are you seeing on the streets?
Honestly, no. You'd be surprised, but I have not seen that many protesters, and I've been walking the streets. I've been walking miles and miles and miles of Washington, D.C., and you barely see any. It's pretty incredible. There's some here and there, if there are any, it's usually over Palestine. But there's definitely the anti-Trump lunatics that are out there, some of them going crazy over TikTok and whatnot. But for the most part, it's been patriots walking down these streets.
Awesome.
It's not these leftists. And, you can tell pretty quickly that it's MAGA has taken over Washington, D.C. just by the looks of it. And, there's some staffers and whatnot that you can see. There's people who just live here that are not happy with it. But MAGA has definitely taken over Washington, D.C., and all you had to do was see what the streets looked like on Inauguration Day or the day of the rally to see that we outnumbered them.
Jesse, go ahead. Sorry.
Just like January 6th, the FBI let you into the Capitol. What was the tour of the Capitol like, Jesse?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a little bit limited because Congress is in session right now. So there was several things we weren't able to get to, but we got to walk onto the rotunda. We were able to see where Trump spoke yesterday during the inauguration. We got to go underground into the tunnels in between the offices and the Capitol building. So we got to see several interesting things. And obviously there's tons of artwork and statues and plenty of historical cool things that to see in the Capitol. We got to go inside the old Supreme Court building,
Awesome.
the old Supreme Court room, and see all the busts there. So there's a good picture of Dale and I outside that thing. So I'll have to send it to you guys.
Please do.
What is your plan for the rest of the afternoon out there in D.C.?
We'll see. I'm not sure yet. There's a couple events going on, so we'll see. Keeping an open mind here.
Okay, I would like to see if could you guys come back 15, 20 minutes, maybe if Dale's available, but in our post show, would you be available to come back in about 15, 20 minutes? Jesse?
I can come back for.
Okay.
I can come back in 15 minutes.
I got a lot more I want to talk to you about, and I want the audience to be part of it. So if people want to see and have some more specific questions for Jesse, because it's kind of cool to see what's going on in D.C., you can be a member of our post show by being a exclusive member of the Truth Hurts community. You can go to truthhurtsnews.com and click on Join Me, get your free locals accounts, $8 a month or $88 a year. You get a month off if you join. Otherwise, you could just click on Join on Rumble if you're watching this on Rumble. Jesse, we'll see you in about 15-20 minutes.
All right, sounds good.
Stay warm.
Take care. I don't even feel like you need to say that to Jesse. I mean, the guy's from northern Minnesota.
He's riding high too on all that enthusiasm. Good for him.
Right. Well, so Trump then ends up. This was probably what I found to be the most interesting thing. So once again, he's in the Oval Office. He is signing executive orders. He's got a staff member presenting to him, telling him, I mean, just straight up like a business guy, and then fielding questions. No guiding the media what they can ask him. Just any question that's popping up. And so this is my favorite one is the guy hands him one and Trump asks him, well, what is this one? This is the B1, Dawson. This is the United States getting out of the World Health Organization. If I couldn't be happier about that one, go ahead and play it. We'll need some volume. It's all about the volume on this one. By the way, this is on my X account, so if you want to watch it.
What is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir?
Ooh, that's a big one. What is this one?
Withdrawing from
Ooh, that's a great one. By the way, and it doesn't really show the Capitol Press. If you go back to my X account, there's actually a good photo up there. I should have thought of this one ahead of time. It shows them at the desk. Scroll down. Keep scrolling down. Keep scrolling down. Right there. There it is. That's the Capitol Press, or sorry, the White House Press, right at his desk as he's signing all these things. So, the removal of the United States from WHO would be monumental savings for us for what I would say is not worth any money to us, especially when they can fumble a pandemic. Like, what's the point of them if they don't even get a pandemic right? Looks like we got a Rumble rant. Go ahead, Donald Trump. Razzle Dazzle says, we will want to know how much time Jesse spent with our new image OP bar chair out there. How's my Trump impression, by the way?
It's good. It's not as good as my son's. His is like spot on. I'll record it sometime and we'll play it live on air, but it's good. It's getting really good. Yep.
It's getting better.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, that is a good question. We'll ask that in the post show. If you want to be a premium subscriber of Truth Hurts News, go to truthhurtsnews.com and click on Join Us. That's a good way to join us, and we'll be there in the post show after this is done. All right, so then the one that's most controversial, and I don't know how I totally feel about this. Maybe this would be a good discussion, Gunner. He pardons pretty much all the J6ers, which is 1,500 plus. Go ahead and pull this up. It's a B2, Dawson. This is a executive order granting pardons and commutation sentences for certain offenses related to the events at or near the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. It lists commuted sentences, and I think there's like 15 people there. And then it grants a full, complete, and unconditional pardon to all other individuals convicted of offenses related to events that occurred at or near the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. Does that mean like somebody that was like assaulting someone outside the Capitol or some totally unrelated crime is commuted? How did they get around that one legally? At or around the Capitol? Oh, I guess events related to... Or wait, offenses related to events that occurred at or... Well, that's a weird way to put it. Well, anyhow, long story short...
well, even some people, I think, were found guilty. I think like Owen Schroyer and others weren't even there. They weren't even present. So,
well,
that makes sense.
Is it Enrico? What's Enrico's last name? The one that supposedly was the mastermind, got the largest sentence, 20-some years.
Yeah.
He wasn't even that.
And he was released yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I heard that's disputed.
Oh, was he not released?
Yeah, it said he's still on record as being in prison.
Sure.
But family said he wasn't. I don't know. Well, you know, like, so I'm a little torn on this one. So to me, it's like, yes, there are a lot of bad people, or there are a lot of good people that were unfairly targeted by their government, and they did something. I mean, they were well commended. There's a Minnesota woman who we kind of know who was being prosecuted, and I think she had to take a plea deal, and she's being prosecuted for whatever the obstruction of government proceedings, whatever they were throwing at her. And you can see video of her clearly saying, "Do not go in the building. This is not us. These are not our people." Right?
Right.
And then she gets shoved into the building and is getting prosecuted once she's in the building. And it's like, what? Like, how is that possible? And clearly, this is a targeting of Donald Trump. Is you find a jurisdiction that's sympathetic to, the narrative, and you could probably find anyone guilty. Show me the man, I'll show you the crime.
Right.
And so there's a ton of people that definitely, I believe, need to be pardoned, and the movement is behind. But there are also people that assaulted police officers at the Capitol.
Right.
And from my understanding, this is a blanket pardon.
Yep, that's what my understanding is too.
Okay. But here's my other side of that. What if you were in that position because government actors, the deep state, the FBI, instigated it?
Well, I'd say you're a conspiracy theorist, Jake.
Well, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. We know now that FBI was on the ground.
Well,
They were instigating it.
well, I think the smoking.
I kept joking with people that I know going to the inauguration. I know so many people that are out in D.C. right now, and I go, careful,
right.
don't be entrapped.
Right.
That's why I don't want to go to Washington, D.C. I don't want to be entrapped by
Well,
their
I think
government.
the smoking gun there is the FBI pipe bombs that were planted. I mean, the FBI planted pipe bombs outside of the DNC that were the exact same pipe bombs that were used in FBI training.
Mm-hmm.
So and they were duds. They didn't go off. There wasn't much hullabaloo about it afterwards. But of course, during it was, hysterical. Look at what happened. Trump himself said that he requested National Guard, which was turned down by Nancy Pelosi, whose daughter just so happened to be shooting a documentary that day. Absolutely insane. I think obviously, if
By the way,
there's
I
a
actually
case,
think that was a coincidence that her daughter was.
it could be.
shooting
Sure, it could be. Yep, for sure. There's maybe some coincidences that day, but I think there's ample evidence to demonstrate the FBI was behind that. They're not being transparent with how many agents they had being agent provocateurs of the day.
Congressional Republicans uncovered that they actually got an admission that they were there.
That there were some, that they were there, but not how many.
Which they
and
wouldn't
to
even
what,
admit to
right,
back
and what
under
they
the
were
Biden
doing.
administration.
Right. So I think that most folks should be pardoned, but not the FBI instigators.
Yeah, that's fair, but they haven't even been prosecuted.
Right,
Not a single
exactly.
FBI member has been prosecuted
Yeah, they
there.
ought to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And nor has Ray Epps, right?
Right.
Yeah, Ray Epps is probably not happy about that mass pardoning. So I guess that, to me, is the other side of it. It's like, well, if this was a big entrapment by our own government, which really, this is one I really believe in, guys. Like, literally, they wanted to destroy Donald Trump. They wanted to destroy the... Well, this is the obvious reason why. Look what just happened yesterday. Not only Donald Trump got reelected and took office, he won the popular vote. He won by a monstrous amount, and it's rejuvenating this drive of the MAGA movement, which, by the way, on this show, we find to be very pure and very good. I'll find criticisms of Donald Trump on some policies, but MAGA is a wonderful movement. We love MAGA. It's why we got MAGA Jesse on this show. It's a beautiful, wonderful, organic movement